Hey guys, you're watching The Morning Score, your top of day fix for professional and for college sports and for gaming. We are here at the Rivalry Sports Bar Miracle Mile in Los Angeles, California, the best place to drink, to eat, and to be merry, and to watch sports. This is where we come watch all of our sports.
For sure.
Second segment today on The Morning Score is all about the NFL. Now, one of my Twitter followers gave me some grief yesterday and told me that he would much rather enjoy all the other sports that are going on right now than talk about NFL offseason craziness. But the NFL offseason has been so fascinating and so interesting this year that it's kind of tough not to talk about it. The storylines from Chris Borland retiring, Willis retiring, Revis going back. I mean, Sue going to the Dolphins. There's so many storylines. And then, of course, the NFL draft is in a few weeks. So we're just going to talk about the craziness or the excitement of NFL offseason as it stands today. What are your thoughts, Megan? You go ahead. You look excited.
I'm so excited. No, I definitely agree with you on Chris Borland announcing that he's going to be retiring. I mean, he's 24 years old, and you know, it's surprising when someone has such a talent, but at the same time, you know, they may have the talent, but if their heart's not in it, if he's concerned about injury, I mean, that, you know, it's essentially, we're just living this life, you know what I mean? And I know his parents are a little disappointed and people are disappointed, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for you, you know? So I agree with them.
I agree with that. I mean, this guy, he's probably, for me, one of the smartest athletes around. He's 24 years old. He's had 2 concussions already.
Yeah.
One, I believe, from when he was playing soccer in like the 8th grade or something like that, and one in playing football in high school. And it's the more that comes out about these head injuries and these lasting effects, this kid's just like, you know what? I don't want the money. I trained so hard and I got what I wanted, and now I'm just gonna, you know, take my life.
And that's huge.
I feel like that's
yeah.
Yeah, and so many people would take the money over that, and then could be, you know,
detrimental.
Yeah.
Well, what's really shocking about Chris is that this was his rookie season, 24 years old, linebacker. The 49ers are going to be a shell of their former selves. They've lost, I mean, seriously, they've lost 6 starting defensive players from the last year. They don't have a coach. I don't know who the new coach, I mean, I know the new coaches, but obviously, like, they don't have Harbaugh, which is a huge blow, I think, to their chances of making it back to playoffs. So from a football standpoint, this is shocking. It hurts. It's very detrimental. Now, from a health standpoint, I'm still on the fence. You look at sports like MMA and boxing, and when you sign up for football, you know what you're getting into. Now, am I vilifying Chris Borland for saying at 24 years old that I don't want to play football anymore? No, because it's a very personal decision that you make with your family and your friends. But at the same time, like, there's so many football players who don't have concussions, or who have had concussions, who are living healthy, successful lives. And it's okay to be proactive, but at the same time, I think I don't know, I feel like he should have given it more time.
I feel like there's something else kind of maybe going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, because it is kind of out of the blue. It is kind of a, oh my gosh, really? But there's got to be something deeper, because clearly this isn't just a, hey, I think I'm not going to play football anymore.
Well,
you know?
he ended last season on the IR. So I think the dude just beat up. I mean, he was one of those guys. And this, I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. He was like a Rudy, not in size, but in just the way he played. Like, he was hell-bent, he was out there, he was punishing, he was doing everything he possibly could on every play. And those players, they're like kamikazes. They just get the crap beat out of them. They do. And I think, you know, we forget, too, how long this guy's probably played football. Like, I don't know exactly, but I'm sure he was in Pop Warner, then played high school, and then he played for Wisconsin, and then he played in the NFL. And the guy's just beat up, and there was one practice last year where he wore the red shirt. And the red shirt's only worn by quarterbacks saying, don't hit me. You're a linebacker, and you're wearing the red shirt.
Yeah.
So I think this dude was just beat up. And it's crazy, because I respect him for being like, hey, man, I'm done. I'm getting out of here. I want my health. But the thing is, a lot of people were freaking out. They're like, oh, my God, the NFL's over. The NFL's... Hell no, it's not. For every one guy that leaves, there are like 200 chomping at the bit to get in. I mean, I believe tomorrow, no, it's Friday is like the veterans training camp that Tebow wasn't invited to, which is funny enough. But
another crazy off-season storyline.
Well, Tebow just practiced with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I know. So it's crazy. I mean, the NFL, it's not going anywhere. you got to respect people. They know their bodies. They know it's messed up.
Yeah.
But there's 5,000 people waiting to get in line.
Yeah, I still think this is one of those stories that might be a little bit blown out of proportion. I mean, this guy, he's had 2 concussions, he has his own health, and he's just saying, you know what, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, does it really have to be like, oh, he should have stayed, or oh, the NFL is, you know, bad. You know, like, I feel like we tend to take things that we don't understand to extremes,
And exploit it.
rather than the fact
We
that
do.
this guy has a certain, like, the ingredients that make up Chris Borland is that, you know what, this might not be the best thing for me. He could have, you know, who knows what his other career could be. Who knows what he went to school for. He could have opportunities making just as much or the same money and doing something different where he feels a little safer. So
My only thing is, I'm sure he has other career aspirations. I think that if he has another agenda, if it's not just about brain injuries and CTE and concussions, that he needs to give the whole story, because I think it paints a negative picture to say, I'm leaving this league because of my concussions. Now, if that is his only reason, more power to you, and it could very well be his only reason. But if there's another underlying reason, I think he owes it to himself and to the fans to give the full story, to give full disclosure.
See, I
But
disagree.
yeah,
I totally disagree, because it's, why does he owe that to the NFL? Like, he's, like, it's not, I mean, like, people know that people get concussions and hurt and break things in the NFL. Like, to say that that isn't known is like, come on. Like, everyone knows that happens. So for this guy to be like, I mean, look at the lawsuit they had last year. It's one of the first lawsuits in history where the judge was like, actually, we're going to award more money than you're suing for because of all the injuries for the NFL.
But it's kind of like, if you go skydiving or bungee jumping, don't try to sue, or your family better not try to sue if your line snaps, because you knew what you were getting into. And that's my thing. I think the NFL and all these advocates of making the NFL safer are trying too hard to take away what makes the game the game. Could we have better, more equipped helmets that wouldn't cause as many concussions? Yeah, we could, but it's a gladiator sport. How are you going to take a gladiator sport and make it flag football? You know, retire, quit. Chris Borland, do whatever you want to do. Anyone else, do whatever you want to do. But if you don't want those hard hits, then your parents knew when you were 14 years old that this was a hard-hitting sport.
Well, we gotta look
where
at
you
it
were
this
going.
way too. He's only 24. Like I'm 27, and I'm like, I didn't know who I was at 24. And look at how much he's done. You know what I mean? So maybe at this point, he's figuring out like, all right, I did this, and now I'm becoming an adult. And you know what? I don't like this. I don't want to be in the NFL. I don't want to do it.
Well, and I also think, like, to some of the newer guys, I think, yes, now you know what you're absolutely getting into. Some of the older guys, like a Dave Duerson, who took his life, those guys, the medicine wasn't there. They didn't really know how concussions affected them. And back in that day, that was that warrior mentality. Like, Ronnie Lott cut off his finger to go back in the game. Like, that was crazy. And a lot of these guys, they would just play and play and play. Now, I think it's a different time. People know. But I'm with you in the sense that you cannot blame anybody but yourself now, moving forward.
Yeah.
But he's not. That's why I feel like the conversation always goes there. He's not. All he's saying is, I'm retiring because I don't want this for myself.
Yeah, he
and
knows,
I agree with you
and
guys.
he's done.
Like, I don't think, the NFL and all these penalties, like, it is turning into flag football, which is ridiculous. Like, I totally agree with you. But in the same sense, if they can't have the equipment and this guy is choosing to step out, I don't think we can really blame him for that.
Oh, I don't blame him. I
don't blame him either. I'm just touching myself as I get excited about this. I don't blame him either. All I'm saying is that moving forward, as you said, you know what you're getting into. If you're a boxer, you know what you're getting into. If you smoke cigarettes, the Surgeon General says you're going to get cancer. Sorry, guys. Sorry, smokers.
Don't
Okay.
smoke.
Now,
Okay. But you know what you're getting into. So that was one major storyline. Let's see what else we got going on here. Revis, or go ahead.
No, you go. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my Jets are looking good. We got Revis signed back from the Patriots.
And Cromartie.
We got Cromartie, who I got to interview at the Super Bowl. He is such an amazing man. I'm so glad he's back on our team. We got Screen. We got Brandon Marshall. We're going to be good.
That's a stretch.
now you just need a quarterback.
That's a stretch.
We got Fitzpatrick, who's smarter, and he
I like Fitzpatrick, actually.
I like Fitzpatrick,
him a lot.
too. And, I mean, we're going to get Marcus, so whatever.
Do you want Marcus?
I Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about Marcus. Can we talk about Marcus?
Yeah, can I just say one quick thing?
No.
This
No, you cannot.
This goes out to my boy @Derek on Twitter, who was going back and forth with me. I was saying that Revis, he kept saying that Revis was going to be a Pat. Revis, I'm like, no, they didn't re-sign him. It's fair game. They're like, well, they're just going to restructure. I'm like, well, they had a chance.
Yeah.
So @Derek, wherever you are, because he stopped talking to me once Revis became a Jet.
Is
I
he
hit
from
you on
Boston?
Twitter. Now I'm hitting you here.
He's holding a grudge. He's from New England.
It's
probably.
like, bro,
You know how
figure
you
it
people
out.
do.
Huh? And I hate that Revis went to the Jets.
Love it.
I just like get out of the AFC East for the love
I know.
of God.
Torture
or
some
go to
more
the Miami
for you.
Dolphins because we'll have you. But right now we got SUH Sue.
Sue.
You just tried to steal our
That was
chant,
funny.
man.
That was
I've never
really
seen
funny.
Trevor get so passionate about anything. Like, that was
Yeah,
amazing.
man. That Finn is down, dude.
Oh.
Finn
Finn's
down.
up.
Any more thoughts on Sue? Or do you want to talk about Sue?
I
114 million shades of Sue?
I mean, Vernon, Sue, Wake, that defensive line, nasty as all hell.
Yeah.
And we are coming for you, Tom Brady.
Ooh, yes,
We're
they
coming
are.
for you, unmobile Fitzpatrick. And we're
Aw,
coming
I
to
like
whatever
Fitzpatrick.
Bills quarterback they decide to put back there. Chump City back there in Buffalo.
Who knows who it could be, honestly. Bills.
That's funny.
Speaking of quarterbacks, NFL draft a few weeks.
Yeah.
Would you rather take Winston or Mariota? I'm gonna say Winston, just because Florida State struggled. I don't care that they had a perfect season. They struggled they struggled every game. They were either down at the half. I mean, they were down with seconds to go. They had comeback games almost every week, week in, week out. And I want to attribute Florida State's ability to come back to Winston's maturity as a player. Now, his maturity off the field, that's still in question. But when it comes to actually size and height, and it's really interesting, at the Combine, Mariota and Winston measured the same height and weight, which I find really weird because Winston definitely came to the Combine sporting a belly. So he looked bigger to me.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to go to the draft.
Maybe that's
He's taking his time at home. He's like, I gotta pump some
I'm
iron.
going to be on the Stairmaster while the draft is going on.
pretty much.
I think he's gonna have a beer in his hand. by the
He's
time
might have
it's
a
on.
beer, go along with that beer belly. But yeah, I think I would take Winston over Mariota.
You know, to me, these guys, it all depends on. I personally don't like either of these guys. If I'm the Tampa Bay Bucks, I'm probably going to trade this draft pick and try to shore up some other, discrepancies like your offensive line.
You don't want either one. You don't want if you're the Bucks, you don't want Mariota or Winston.
Because here's the thing, Mariota, I think.
He wants Tannehill.
No, I don't even want Tannehill. If I'm the Miami Dolphins and we had the #1 draft pick, I wouldn't want either of these guys. I don't think either of these guys are going to be a game-changing quarterback in the NFL. I think both of them need time to develop.
Okay.
Winston's more pro-ready.
Yep.
But his mentality to me, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
My gut would be like, I don't want him starting right away. He's probably going to start right away for the Bucks.
He better.
And Mariota, he's going to be a system quarterback.
Yeah,
Bring him
he
to a
is.
team like the Eagles or somebody
geez.
quick. That guy
Yeah.
he could blow up. But if he's going to be a pocket passer with the Bucks, I'm not a
gonna be
believer
on
in
the
either of these quarterbacks.
So you guys need a quarterback.
We need a quarterback.
So who would you want?
Mariota.
Would you?
Have Fitzpatrick play the first 5 or 6 games, get him ready, get him smart, get him to know the game. Mariota take over. Boom. Super Bowl.
You're delusional. I mean, Steph, you're delusional. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Like, seriously.
We are going.
I do love it, though, because you do have a Fitzpatrick who could start this year and Mariota could learn from. But Winston's going to go to Tampa Bay, and he's going to start, and that O-line is
I don't
awful.
want
They've got no
Winston.
running game. I mean, he's just going to get destroyed, and he's going to be like some of these other good quarterbacks who could have been good, like a David Carr, maybe a Joey Harrington, who went to bad setups and got crushed, and now they're done, and they are known as busts.
I don't know that either of these two guys are your Andrew Luck.
I mean,
They're
no.
not going to come out and play like
I
that.
mean,
But
no.
I think each one of them has, a good chance, a good opportunity. I think they'll both be on teams where they will start games
But
this
that's probably
season.
the best way to start anyway, is not fully defined as somebody, because then you need to finish the
look
rest
at
of that
Tom Brady.
definition with your team.
Who
you know
would
what
you
I mean?
take? Would you want Winston?
I had Mariota.
Really?
Yeah, I did, because
Okay.
I think that yeah, obviously you have to have a good arm to be a quarterback, but I just love, you were talking about fluidity and quickness, and I love that about him. So if I were a coach, I'd want that on my team versus Winston.
Winston definitely ran with a 4.97 in the combine versus, I think, Mariota's, was it like a 4.52 is what Mariota ran. So you're right. Mariota's fast. He has the speed. And Winston probably can't outrun all of us holding hands. But he's so big and has such great upper body strength that when he's out in the open, please, good luck trying to bring him down. So I'll take his strength over Mariota's speed.
Okay.
That's just me. No. And New York would swallow up Winston.
Are you serious? Winston would be on somebody's bar top cursing everybody out, being like, hey.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like New York, like he wouldn't be able to hang in New York. He would, his personality off the field would take, like he wouldn't be able to focus, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Well,
anyway, you slice it, I don't want Tebow.
Oh, how about Tebow working out with the Eagles the other day, which Chip Kelly is shaking up things. It's like, what are you doing? Or do you think you're back in the Pac-12?
But I love it. I mean,
Do you?
everybody's talking smack about him.
I'm talking
smack
about
him. And then he lands DeMarco Murray.
That was big.
I mean, everybody's like, this guy's insane. And okay, he got rid of Deshaun Jackson. Big deal. Deshaun Jackson,
No,
did he do
that's
anything?
sad.
And then Macklin.
I'd rather have Murray.
Macklin, I was kind of surprised they got rid of Macklin, but it all comes down to money, budgets, this, that. They can find receivers. There's a ton of receivers in the draft. Plus, they already have Matthews, who's going to be he's a nice stud. He'll be in his second year. You have DeMarco Murray.
How about?
Dude, and he's picking up defense. They need defense. Like, their offense.
They do need defense.
They're fine offensively. And they got Sam Bradford.
So that's what I was going to say. So Sam Bradford, he was an amazing talent. We haven't seen any productivity from Sam Bradford since freaking.
Well, he was
No,
hurt, though.
I mean,
I know
it's
he
injuries.
was.
Injuries, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. So yes,
The same injury, though,
the same
twice.
injury.
Yeah.
Like we look at him and say, oh, he had so much potential. And when he's healthy, he can help a team get possibly to the promised land. He hasn't been healthy in so long. Like why take that risk? That's my thing. Like, why take that risk?
I do want to touch more on the Tebow situation. I feel like, I honestly, as much as I'm like, I don't want that guy on my team, I actually hope that Tebow, like it turns around for Tebow. I feel like he definitely got cheated.
Yeah,
I feel like in Denver, he played well. He took the team to the playoffs. He had the stamina. We took him. I feel like, and you won't have me say this a lot, but I feel like the Jets did him wrong by the way that he was put in and like at the end when Sanchez was so terrible, it was like they almost didn't want to put him in because if he would have done good, they would have been like, oh shit, we should have done this 4 games ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like he kind of got the shit end of the stick. I do feel like that guy he's an athlete, he's a competitive guy, he wants to win. He shows that he's like a good, humble dude. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't have the skill, the talent, whatever.
To be a quarterback, no.
To be a franchise quarterback. I don't know if he does. Maybe he could still develop. I don't know. I feel like he got shit in the stick, and I'd love to see him get an opportunity.
He's been kind of out of the game. Like, he's been, commentating and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but clearly he still wants to get back in it.
Well, and here's the thing. It's like, if this guy loves the game so much, swallow your effing pride
and
become
positions.
a tight end or a fullback. You are not a quarterback. Teams have tried. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Suck it up if you really want to play football.
Yeah.
Change. I mean, it happens a lot. A lot of players do that.
They change from quarter to corner or from corner to whatever.
Receivers,
receiver,
I mean, they're all over the place.
Any other crazy, interesting, fascinating NFL offseason storylines? Sorry, I think it's at Chris, is it Forguan? Or I don't know if I definitely messed up your name. I know you don't want to talk about NFL storylines because it's baseball season and it's basketball season and it's hockey, but we're talking about NFL offseason storylines. Hope you love it anyway. Any more crazy? Any more interesting?
I just think it's been fun.
It has been
Andre
fun.
Johnson to the Colts.
Yeah.
Watch out. Colts. Scary.
That's it. All right, guys. We'll stick around for our next segment, our favorite segment, the morning scores, the morning rant.